Hi guys, this is Cyndi from Life and Times with Cyndi. I'm gonna have you follow me for the next 2 days, maybe 3, as I meal prep and do some meal planning for the week. It is Tuesday. I took a break on Monday and just kind of chilled and talked to family. But Marcus went to the grocery store, so I'm going to show you the things that he got from the grocery store. And I have ministers in training class tonight, so I'm probably not going to get around to separating my meat and putting it in the freezer tonight. Well, today. So I'm probably going to just stick it in the refrigerator and do that tomorrow morning. I've been getting up really early. Was it Monday morning? I think it was Monday morning. I got up really early. I washed dishes that I had from that night before. I washed a bunch of clothes and I should have folded them. That didn't happen. I got to do that first thing tomorrow morning. Because I'm rushing trying to get us something to eat before ministers in training class. And that doesn't end till like about 9 o'clock at night. So thankfully it's on Zoom. So I can get ready for bed as soon as it's done. And then I'll have you go around with me tomorrow. I'm going to get a walk in. Last week I did really good. I got 3 days of walking in. I haven't gotten any in this week, so I want to at least get 2 days of walking in. So yeah, let me show you the food that he got. So we have red and russet potatoes. I don't know why he got 2 things of potatoes. I really needed some Ziploc bags. Got some cheese, there's some onion soup mix, there's some asparagus, and my favorite cucumbers, the seedless ones. He got lettuce, not the kind I like romaine. Got some peppers, favorite bacon bits. Needed some detergent and some cleaning product. Yes, I know it's Lysol, and some people don't like the smell, but Lysol is my favorite. This is the lemon version. I like the stronger version. Needed some trash bags, so got some trash bags. Like I said, definitely needed some Ziploc bags because I gotta prep my meat. Speaking of meat, got lots of meat, ribs, 2 types of chicken, sausage, bacon. There's some steak underneath the bottom, and some ground beef. Good morning. Okay guys, this morning you get me raw and unfiltered. I have not done my hair yet. I have been up a while. I have separated my meat, put it in the freezer. Okay, it is the next day. I showed you my groceries that Marcus picked up for us from Sam's Club. And today, yesterday, by the time I went through everything and started putting stuff away, I was just too tired to deal with the meat. But I have my Ziploc bags. I've already put my meat in Ziploc bags to go in the freezer. What I do is I divide everything up because there's only 2 of us eating, and so it doesn't make any sense to keep all of that meat in my freezer or even store all of it together. In the freezer. So anyway, so I've got my chicken. I guess these are thighs. I got my chicken. I've got 2 pieces of chicken that's going to stay in the refrigerator because I can use that for dinner for one night. I separated my ground beef And what I do is I flatten that out before I put it in the freezer so that it doesn't take up as much room. So y'all have 3 of those that are going in the freezer. So that's 3 different meals. And then I have this 1 package of ground beef that I'm going to prep for a meal. I don't know yet what I'm going to fix. And then he brought, I thought these were roast, but I don't think they are. I'm gonna have to put in the, I'm gonna have to put what these are. But I divided those up because there were 2 of them in a package, and one's gonna go in the freezer, and then I'm gonna prep one for a meal. And so, yeah, that's what I'm sharing with you guys. My grocery haul, how I separate the meat. I'm trying to actually eat less meat, but because Marcus is diabetic and because he's on a dialysis machine, his doctors have said that he needs to have more protein, and so he needs to have more meat. Just having protein, you know, food that has protein in it is not going to be enough. So yeah, you'll see some meals with meat, and then hopefully in one of my next videos you'll see me prepping meals for me that are more vegetable based or plant based. I'm not going all the way vegan. I do like a good steak or ground beef, spaghetti sauce from time to time. I did put one of the sausage links in the freezer, and I kept one out. And what I'm probably going to do is divide the one that I kept out and put some of that in the freezer as well, because it's such a large package of sausage. Let me show you. Okay, so there were 2 packages of bacon together. Bacon prices have gone down a little bit, so we're actually buying bacon again because we had kind of stopped buying bacon. This is Jimmy Dean regular sausage, and like I said, what I'm probably going to do is cut this in half, keep some in the refrigerator, and put the rest in the freezer because it's just too much for the 2 of us to use up, and I don't want to go to bad because, again, meat is not cheap. Yeah. He brought a large block of cheese. I may take some of this and shred it so that it's already shredded for when I want to use it. What else? Now the ribs are still in my refrigerator because I'm pretty sure that he's going to take this and put it on the grill outside. And then he brought asparagus because he likes asparagus. I don't like asparagus. And he brought some regular what kind of lettuce is this called? I can't think of it. But yeah, I'm gonna clean off this top of the refrigerator shelf, and then I'm gonna put my lettuce up there. He still has to go back and get me some tomatoes. Somehow or another he forgot the tomatoes. I have peppers. I love cooking with peppers. He brought me some crumble bacon. I didn't think I would like using this. It's ready to go. You can put it in your eggs. You can put it in your salad. Yeah. And it means that I can have this and not use my regular bacon like for when I want to have breakfast bacon. So I never thought I would be a fan of this, but I do love the convenience of it. Something I didn't get to show you in the haul was, and I'm in my freezer, which I really need to clean out. There's the extra bacon. He bought some meatballs. He loves onion rings and french fries. There's the extra sausage. But I didn't get a chance to show you. We get these green beans from Sam's Club, and it's a package of, I think, 6. Yeah, 6 in the package. And so, yeah, that's just really convenient for me to have the frozen string beans. I can steam them. I can put them on top of the stove with stir fry them with some onions. I also like their broccoli, and then they have broccoli Normandy that I use. Strawberries are for smoothies, although Mark likes eating strawberries frozen. I don't get it at all. He did buy some chicken legs, and I didn't have enough room in the refrigerator for all of the meat, and so I ended up sticking these in the freezer, which means when I use these, I'm gonna have to make a couple of meals with them. So what I'll probably do is like do some in the air fryer, do some in the crock pot, and do some in the air fryer, crock pot, or in the oven. So yeah, and then like I said, he likes fries. So now I'm going to put the rest of this meat in the freezer after I adjust some things, and then at some point you'll see my meal prep. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to make with the meat that I have. I just finished cutting up some lettuce and putting it in a container so that I can have salad this week. I'm going to take a walk in a couple of hours, and so I'm trying to get some stuff done like really early. I've been up the last couple of days really early. I just finished cleaning up the bathroom. Yesterday I washed clothes. I don't think I have any clothes to wash today, although I do have some stuff that I should have folded yesterday I didn't fold, so I need to fold clothes. I'm just taking you along for the day. I showed you my grocery haul. I'm going to show you a little bit of meal prep. It's probably going to take me a couple of days. I don't think I'm going to get it all done today because I've had kind of a busy week and it's only Tuesday. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of work on my computer for church, and we had a minister's class last night, so I have to prepare a sermonette because we're doing the 7 last sayings at our church. And so, yeah, there's a lot on my plate this week. I am working on new members packets, and yeah, let's just say this week you might see what it's like to be a pastor's wife, really, because most of the time I just show you like my personal family time, but yeah, I've got a lot to do and little time to do it. So next on the list is fixing some breakfast. It is 9:18. I have been trying to wait till 10 o'clock, but I don't always do a good job of doing that. Don't think I'm gonna make it a day just because I've got so much to do, and I want to make sure that I'm not full when I go on my walk, because a lot of times I'll walk to my daughter's job, and when I go there I may get like a salad or a veggie wrap or something. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that today, but just in case, I don't want a lot of food on my stomach. So I think I'm going to have yogurt and granola. I'm still waiting for Mr. to tell me what he wants. He has not said yet. He said he didn't want yogurt, so I was like, well, let me go and fix mine because I got things to do. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just taking you along for the day. We have Bible study tonight because it is Wednesday. And so, yeah, I've got to get some stuff around here done, take my walk, get back, figure out dinner, which shouldn't be a problem because I got plenty of stuff to choose from since we just went grocery shopping. I think I'm more inspired. I think I'm more inspired. I had to think about that one for a minute. When my refrigerator is full of things to choose from. When it starts to get down to the bare minimum, then I kind of lose my momentum to cook. And so, yeah, gonna do that, figure out. I did work on my calendar and my meal prep for the coming week. What I do is I base it on what I have in the refrigerator and make out a list of possible meals that I'm gonna fix, breaking it down into meat, a side dish, and a vegetable. And then from that, it tells me what additional groceries I might need if I don't have what I need in my pantry. And then I write that into my planner. If you haven't seen, I did get a new planner for this year, and that video is up on my Disney channel. I put a link to that so you can see it. Then after I take my walk and come back, I've got a little bit more stuff to do on the computer. Right now I'm working on new members children's version of our welcome packet, and then it'll be time for dinner, and then it'll be time for Bible study. So yeah, that's my day. We'll see how much of this I actually film, because once I get busy, yeah. I would sit outside today, but the pollen count around here is crazy. I have got to figure out what I'm gonna do about my cushions, because they like have green stuff all over them, so I can't sit out there. I'm even considering wearing my mask when I'm walking. I usually don't put it on until I get to the restaurant, because usually I order and then bring it home and eat. So yeah, I don't know, because I have really bad allergies and I just don't have time for all that pollen that's floating around out there right now. So that is my day. I think I'm going to season some meat. I did take some tomatoes that looked like they were on their last leg, and I don't want them to lose them. So what I did was I blended them in my blender and put the blended tomatoes in the refrigerator. I'm going to make spaghetti sauce from that, but I think I need some tomato paste, and I don't think I have any tomato paste, so I'm either going to have to use something else or get Marcus to pick me up some tomato paste when he goes back out, because I think he's going to the grocery store today. I'm trying to think, have I covered everything? I think that's it. So I'll see you later, probably when I'm on the walk. Almost at Nikki's job. I talked to my sister the whole time I was walking, because sometimes it's some strange people walking around, so I didn't want anybody to be trying to engage with me. So I'm gonna sit and hang with her till she gets off of work, and then she'll bring me back home, and then I'll figure out what we're gonna eat for dinner. Talk to you later. Okay, so I thought I had recorded when I was out with Nikki. I went back and looked. Absolutely no footage at all. Don't even know what happened. But I enjoyed sitting at the restaurant and chilling and looking at a couple of YouTube videos. I waited for Nikki to get off of work, and then she brought me back home. It is a little chilly today, so I had my Mickey coat on and my curl cap cap. I'm all Disneyed out. I even have my Disney bag today. If you guys don't know, I have a Disney channel. I'll leave a link below to that. I also did a video about my cap that my daughter gave me, and I even have a fashion video showing you my coat. So I think meal prep is going to happen tomorrow. So yeah, this is going to be 3 days of recording. So I will see you tomorrow morning. I will work on prepping my food. So until then, yeah, I'll see you in the morning. Hey guys, it's about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning when I started doing this prep, and I just decided I would work on the meat. I still have to go to the refrigerator. I still have to go to the store and pick up a couple of more things so that I can complete my meal prep, and it was things that we weren't going to get at Sam's Club. I gotta have my gloves, guys, when I'm messing with meat. It's just, I don't know, it kind of grosses me out now, whereas before it didn't. So thank goodness for a supply of gloves because I definitely use them when I'm cooking with meat. This is the ground beef. I'm going to be making meatloaf, and as you saw yesterday, I separated my meat so that I can make more than one meal from the package of meat that Marcus picked up from the store. Yeah, it's I'm using a really easy recipe because I plan on having that for dinner today. And it took me a few minutes to find my loaf pan, and I couldn't find the one that I really want to use. So I'm using this one. I'm spraying it with the pan. And you guys tell me, do you believe that Pam is vegan? Oh, and onion soup mix. I decided to just use onion soup mix in this recipe for my meatloaf because it's a small meatloaf. We'll probably maybe can get 2 meals out of it. I'm not really sure. So I used a packet and a half because I used half of the onion soup mix for some dip for some potato chips that I ate yesterday. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have been eating those potato chips, but anyway, that's what I did. And then I added some Italian breadcrumbs to it. I used to put oatmeal in my meatloaf because that was something I learned from my mother-in-law. But really, oatmeal, Marcus is really not supposed to have a whole lot of it. So I just do the really fine breadcrumbs. And then I added 1 egg because, like I said, this is very small. You can add like other seasonings to it. I decided because I was using the soup mix that I wasn't going to, so I just did the egg, breadcrumbs, and the I'm probably going to put a little ketchup on top of it when it's done. So this is me getting ready to mix it up. I've read on several recipes that you don't want to handle your ground beef too much when you're mixing it to prepare for meatloaf because that's how it ends up being kind of tough. And so I mixed it up and then I rolled it into a ball. And trying to get all of the little pieces. Hey, meat is expensive, guys, so you do what you gotta do. So this is me trying to get all of it rolled up. And then I kind of patted it by hand, like into like a little mini loaf. Yes, the dish is way too big for the loaf pan, but hey, you use what you got. And I don't know where my other loaf pan was, but that would have been just as big. So here's the finished product. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover it up with some foil because, like I said, we're going to have it for dinner tonight. And so it's just going to be sitting in the refrigerator until it's time for me to put it in the oven. I'm going to put recipe like temperature and time at the bottom after I've finished cooking and editing this video. So yeah, this is the foil going over it. I love those little foil sheets because they're already pre-cut, and most of the time they work for most things that I'm cooking with. I also use it if I'm doing baked potatoes or sweet potatoes. Here is the roast. I'm kind of excited about this. We haven't had one in a long time, so we'll see how this goes. I'm keeping it really simple. I'm just using a little bit of steak seasoning that I have left. I wish I had some steak sauce. And I'm gonna coat it with the steak sauce and let it marinate. So we will probably have this day after tomorrow. I'm gonna try not either that, or maybe I'll even save it for Sunday dinner. We'll see. Although it's easier to do things in a crock pot for Sunday dinner because we're at church and then when we come home, it's already ready. So this is the last of my steak seasoning. I'm hoping that I can get some more this week. And then I'm just kind of patting it down so that it can really get into the meat. And after sitting for a couple of days, it should really taste good. This is steak seasoning that we get from Sam's Club, and it comes in a big container. So we just are now using the last of it. It lasted us a very long time. Mark uses it on most meats that he grills, and it has a really good pepper flavor, but it's got, some salt in it. So I really don't like to use it too often because I have high blood pressure, but I can't see putting anything else on this roast except for the steak seasoning. So that's 2 meals ready to go. I'm going to have macaroni and cheese probably with the meatloaf. And later on, you'll see me making some string beans to go with the meatloaf. So really all I have to do this afternoon is kind of pop everything in the stove or on top of the stove. This is some chicken that I took out. I already had some chicken legs in the freezer, so I thought before I used the new chicken legs that Marcus gave me, I would use these since they had been in there longer. This, you guys have seen me do this recipe 1,000 times. It's just a little bit of oil and some rosemary. I had just a teeny bit of steak seasoning left, so I knew I was going to do that with this chicken, and this is going to go in the air fryer. So I just kind of eyeball the seasonings when I'm using it. So I put a little oil in because it's going in the air fryer, and that will help give it that crispy taste. I'm adding some rosemary. I love the smell of rosemary. I love the taste of rosemary, and I don't know what it is about rosemary chicken, but it's my favorite way to do chicken. So yeah, I use that recipe a whole lot. Sometimes I go overboard with the rosemary and then it gets kind of burnt in the air fryer. So I was trying not to do that this time. I'm hoping I won't regret not putting a little bit more in. Like I said, I only had a teeny bit of steak seasoning left, so I put the rest of that in there because I know it's also one of Mark's favorites to eat it this way. And he loves air fried chicken. And yeah, you're not deep frying it, and that's what I really like about it. Yes, it has a little bit of oil in it. You don't have to put oil in it, but I just do because I want it to get that little crispiness to it. And so then I just kind of mix all of that up. That's going to be marinating in the refrigerator. I would probably fix this tomorrow because I don't like leaving the chicken in there long once I've taken it out of the freezer and defrosted it. So yeah, I can see fixing this for dinner tomorrow, and we will probably have this with some kind of rice, maybe some sweet potatoes. I'm really not sure. This was actually an extra meal that wasn't on my original menu, but because I had so much chicken, I figured I had better go ahead and use it. These are the 2 pieces that was left from the thighs that I separated and put in the freezer yesterday. So I am going to season that with some garlic and pepper. Again, this is some extra chicken. I could stick it in the oven. I'm probably going to stick this in the air fryer too. I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, it'll probably go in the air fryer. And you can just steam some vegetables, go with that, and maybe some mashed potatoes, because you'll see, even though I ended up using the potatoes that I got ready for a different dish, I still had a few potatoes left. And so yeah, this will probably be steamed vegetables, mashed potatoes, and the chicken. Maybe this is what we'll have for dinner on Sunday, because that'll be fairly easy to fix. We'll see. So right there, guys, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meals already. If you include this last bit of chicken legs that I have left, and I'm going to do them with a little bit of Creole seasoning. This is when I realized I had better go ahead and put some kind of label on my food so that I would know which seasonings I was using, so that when it's time for me to actually make the meal, I'll know what to pair it with as far as side dishes. So yeah, I used to not do this, and then I'd have things in the freezer, and I'm like, okay, what was that? And so now I try to make a point of writing on the bag so that I know exactly what it is that we are eating. You really should, if you're going to put it in the freezer, you really should put a date on that too, so you know how long it's been in the freezer. But most of this is not going to make it in the freezer. If I decide that it's time for it to cook, I'll probably just go ahead and cook it, even if I don't eat it for a couple of days, because I just don't like, you shouldn't refreeze meat, first of all, and the chicken legs were definitely frozen. But I just don't like it to go to waste, so push come to shove, I'll always just go ahead and cook it to get it done with. So I'm trying to give you guys a couple of different angles. The only reason that I am even voice recording this one is because it was 5:30 in the morning, and I didn't want Marcus to hear me because our bedroom is right next to the kitchen, and I didn't want to wake him up that early because he was sleeping pretty good. And so this is his favorite seasoning. I can't say it's mine, and you can tell by my face that, the seasoning was starting to get to me, and to the point where I was sneezing. Okay, now we are getting to the fun part. I'm using a bag inside of a pitcher because I only have two hands and I don't need any of those really fancy bag holders because they're expensive. And I'm just taking my steamed vegetables and I'm putting them in the bag because I'm going to add some seasoning, and I'm going to add some red onions to it. And instead of steaming them, I'm actually going to fry them on top of my oven, on top of my stove. And so this is what I do sometimes just to get a break from having like the steamed vegetables, because sometimes you just want them a couple of different ways. So yeah, I put the vegetables in. I'm gonna cut up my onion. My favorite onion is red onions. You guys will have to tell me, do you like the Vidalia? Do you like just the plain white onion? Or are you like me and you like the red onion? And do you call it a red onion or do you call it a purple onion? I call it a red onion. So I'm going to use half of this red onion because it's a huge onion. And I'm going to cut slices. The other half I'm going to use in another dish. So, yeah, I'm spreading it out. Looking at the onion, I'm like, okay, it's a good thing I'm using you now because you look like you not going to last me much longer. So, yep, there I go washing my hands again. I wash my hands a bazillion times during the day. So, this is another recipe that I really like doing. I use it a lot of times when I get with the family and we have like Thanksgiving dinner or even at Christmas time, because plain string beans with just a little seasoning on it is not as good as like spicing them up just a little bit. And I don't mean spice by being hot. I just mean give it a little extra something. So you can use red onions, or you can use Vidalia onions, or you can use white onions. It's really up to you. This is just the type of onions that I like to cook with a lot. Originally, I was going to even put some peppers in it, which I've done before, but I decided that I'm going to use the peppers, I think, in a fajita recipe. And that might not even be in this video. So I'm using Mrs. Dash because, again, trying to keep my salt intake down. But Mrs. Dash is really flavorful. My mom says it's too peppery for her, But and also she doesn't really like onions, so I always have to like make sure the onions are big enough so that if people don't really want to use them, they can take them off and you can see them to actually do that. So that is basically it for this recipe. I don't know why Mrs. Dash was kind of everything was making me want to sneeze this morning. So I got a little powder in my face. Oh, you know what? It wasn't. It was the onions. The red onions were really, really strong. So yeah, I'm just kind of coating this. I'm not using any oil in it right now because I am going to fry it on top of the stove. And so I'll probably spray my fry pan with some Pam, just so that I don't have it swimming in oil. And that's really good. I like my string beans a little crunchy. Washing hands again, people. If nothing else, you can come to my house and eat because I wash my hands a lot. So here are the red potatoes that I'm going to be using. Originally, like I said, I was going to be making some mashed potatoes. I still may make some mashed potatoes on the side because I had a couple of extra ones after. I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted that I had a couple of potatoes extra after I started working on them, because at first I was going to do mashed potatoes and then I decided to add this to a roast instead. So I am washing my potatoes. I love the Sam's Club potatoes. I probably don't want to know why they look so clean when I get them, but in comparison to other potatoes that I have gotten from other stores, I'm like, why are they so dirty? I know why they're so dirty. You don't have to answer that. I'm just saying. So red potatoes are my favorite. I think they actually make better mashed potatoes than the the white potato. That's just me. And I steam them in my Pamper Chef steamer, and then I mash them, and like it takes me literally 10 minutes to make mashed potatoes. You can also do it in an Instant Pot if you don't like using a microwave, but again, 10 minutes. I can't complain. So because I am mashing them and I'm keeping the skin on, I'm just taking some of the brown spots off of the potatoes so that I'm not dealing with them when I'm mashing or eating the potatoes. I usually just steam them, mash them, put a little bit of butter on them, and then sometimes I put a little garlic powder, a little onion powder. Sometimes I put a little cheese in it, but you can just add a little bit of milk and salt and pepper to your own taste. So that's a quick and easy way to do some mashed potatoes. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't work outside the home, but I'm telling you, if you do, or even if you don't, it just makes life easier when you can find those little shortcuts to help you get your food on the table to your family a lot faster. And I just know, my mom worked full-time a long time as a single mom, and when she came home, she was just tired. She didn't want to have to do a whole lot. Anyway, this would have been, I wish YouTube had been around back when my mom was a mom, and even when I was a mom. Like, some things I'm learning from YouTube, it has taken so much stress off of cooking. I enjoy cooking a whole lot more because I can find recipes. I get tips and tricks from people. Yeah. And I'm hoping in some way that I am doing the same for some of you guys. I am not like a chef. I'm trying to figure out, what was I doing here? Oh, that's when I realized that I was going to actually use those potatoes to put in my roast. So I'm cutting up some carrots that I had left over, the other half of that onion that I had left over, and some celery. I am not putting it in with the roast meat because I'm going to actually season it separately. But again, I'm using my little water pitcher. I put my little Ziploc bag in it. It's hands-free while I'm cutting. All I have to do is cut up my food, stick it in there, put my seasoning in with it, close it up, put it in the refrigerator. So when it's time to do the roast, all I have to do is take all of those items, put it in a pan, put it in the oven, and I'm good to go. So I had 3 carrots left in my refrigerator, and I was like, okay, if they stay in here much longer, they're not going to be any good to anybody. So I might as well stick them, because at first I was like, I'm just going to wait until I can get some from the stove. from the store. I can't talk. Well, now it's 7 o'clock in the morning, so I'm still trying to get myself together. But it didn't make any sense not to use what I already had in my refrigerator. And since it was only 3 and there's only 2 of us eating, I think we'll be fine. I can always put some rice on the side to go with the roast. But I really don't need it because I got the potatoes and the onions, and the celery is really just for taste. Marcus doesn't really like cooked celery, and he used to not like celery at all. And then, I don't know, something changed. Now he'll eat a stalk of celery by itself. I don't get it. I have to put some peanut butter or something on it if I'm going to eat it. I don't mind it in my soups. I don't mind it on my roast, but I don't know that I want to eat it plain. But, that's just me. Sometimes I even have put it in my broccoli and cheese soup. With some carrots and some onions. So I'm cutting up my celery. I only use 2 because, like I said, he doesn't really like it when it's cooked. I don't mind it when it's cooked, so more than likely I'll be eating most of the celery, so I didn't want to overdo it. And then these are the potatoes I originally was going to steam and put in to make mashed potatoes. I didn't show, but after I was finished cutting up the potatoes, I still had 3 left in the steamer. So I'm going to either make breakfast hash with that. That's another tip. I steam my potatoes before I cook them on the stove. Like if I want fried potatoes for breakfast, then I steam them first because it just makes it quicker. Because it takes a while to get your potatoes just right. Sometimes I have fried potatoes, and then when I go to sit down to eat it, they're still not soft enough, and that's a way to ruin your breakfast. So see, bag is already ready to go. I'm just going to add some seasoning to it. I think I used, what did I use? Yes, I used some of Tabitha Brown's sunshine seasoning. And I'm trying to think that I think I might have added a couple of extra seasonings to it. We'll just have to wait and see. I added some garlic. I'm going to add some onion powder. And I think I also added some Italian seasoning to it. And then I finished up with a little salt and pepper. Again, do it to your own taste. That's why I'm not really giving you like measurements, because you know how much salt or how much pepper or even what seasonings your family likes in their food. Some people don't like onion and garlic. Some people don't like Italian seasoning. You do what works for you. And when you do that, your family will enjoy it more. So I put just a little bit of salt in it just because potatoes need salt. Otherwise, it's very bland. But I also know it's going to be in the oven with the roast, which has the steak seasoning on it. And that is salty. So I didn't want to use too much, but I want it to kind of marinate into those potatoes. So this will probably be in the refrigerator for a few days. So yes, I know that my potatoes are probably going to be a little brown, but they'll be okay. They're going in the oven. They're going to brown anyway. It's not a big deal as long as they don't get mushy and go bad. And they're not going to be in the refrigerator long enough for that. That's why I like doing menus this way, because it literally takes the stress out of when I get up that day, what am I going to have for dinner? Well, if it's already in the refrigerator and I know I can't leave it in there too long, then it's ready to go. Okay guys, I have finished most of the prep that I need to do. I have vegetables that I need to get from the grocery store to go with some of the meals for the week, but with the exception of the sausage for the stir fry, everything else is ready to go. I still have to cook some macaroni and cheese, and I have to make a fresh batch of rice for the week. And the noodles that I'm going to fix them the day of. I had originally planned on making mashed potatoes to go with the meatloaf, which we're going to have for dinner tonight. It is now Thursday. But I looked at my menu and I had a lot of potatoes on my menu. Not that I don't love potatoes, but I needed to, break that up a little bit. So I'm doing macaroni instead. But I didn't think about that when I was starting to cook, and I had potatoes ready for mashed potatoes. So I think maybe for breakfast we'll have like a potato hash with some bacon and eggs. And so I have 3 potatoes that I'm gonna steam for that. I got up at 6 o'clock this morning and started prepping some of the food. And so, like I said, I'm pretty much done. All of the chicken is seasoned. The roast chuck is seasoned, ready to go. Hold on a second. My arm was getting tired. So on the menu is, so you'll see when you see the prep, that chuck roast with carrots, potatoes, onions, and celery. So that is ready to go. I kept the vegetables separate from the chuck. Chicken legs were seasoned. One was seasoned with the Creole seasoning, and one was seasoned with rosemary and steak seasoning. That's going to go in the air fryer. The Creole chicken is going to go in the oven. What else did I do? I made a meatloaf. Like I said, that's going to be for dinner tonight. What else did I make? I still have to get some spinach and some zucchini and squash for one of the chicken recipes. And Marcus still has to do the ribs. I don't know what he wants to season them with, or I would have washed and seasoned them so they would be ready for him to go. I'll ask him today when he get up, because I think he'll probably want to put some steak seasoning on it, but he doesn't have any more, so that means he'll have to go to the store to get it. But he has an eye appointment today, so I don't know that that's going to happen, because when he comes back from his eye appointments, he can't see. So, and he's not driving himself. But what I'll do is I'll put a menu, or maybe I'll do what I ate and I'll show you guys the finished product. I think I'm going to do that. This is the end of this video. It's been 3 days. But I hope that it was something that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? And if you'd like to know when the next video will come out, all you have to do is hit that little notification bell below. So until I see you next time, guys, have a blessed day. Bye.